This episode of Against the Odds is brought to you by Card Kingdom. To pick up the deck and support the show, follow the link in the description box down below. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So Dominaria is here, which means we are kicking off Dominaria Against Odds season with a special episode, and I think this one's probably going to catch a lot of people by surprise. I know the things people have been talking about rats, talking about liches and things like that, and if you want to see those decks, don't worry, they are all going to be on the Against the Odds poll for this week, so I'll put a link in the description, follow it, vote for the one you want to see most. But we went with kind of a wild card, and one of my favorite cards from the set, and I think one of the spiciest cards from the set, and that is Oath of Teferi. We are playing Oath of Teferi Superfriends in Standard, and oh my god, this deck is awesome. It is so sweet. So a quick reminder before we break down Oath of Teferi, friends, for Standard. If you enjoy this deck, and you enjoy Against the Odds in general, it would be amazing of you if you take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So Oath of Teferi is basically the new upgraded version of the Chain Veil. You get to activate all your planeswalkers twice each turn, except unlike the Chain Veil, you just do it for free. You get the 5 mana enchantment on the battlefield. It even flickers something when it enters the battlefield, which can do some neat tricks in our deck. That's an underrated part of this card. And then it just sits out there in your loyalty abilities on Planeswalker. You get to use them twice rather than once. So you get to plus twice, you get to plus and minus, you get to minus twice, which lets our deck do all kind of crazy things. And to back up Oath of Teferi, we have a deck that's just overloaded with Planeswalkers. So one of my favorite things to do with this deck is Gideon. So Gideon of the Trials probably looks weird. It can beat down, it can emblem to protect us, but the big thing it does is +1 to prevent all the damage of a source of our choice. So we can +1 to stop a creature, but with Oath of Teferi, we can +1 twice, which stops 2 creatures, and then throw in our old friend Dovin Baan, and we're stopping even more creatures, because Dovin can plus to give a creature -3, -0, and make it so their activated abilities can't be activated. So when we do that twice, and also Gideon twice, we basically have a really janky Planeswalker Wrath, where we are just stopping our opponent's entire board full of creatures repeatedly, while also plussing our Planeswalkers, so we're working Dovin Baan towards the ultimate. Gideon's getting tons of loyalty, so eventually we'll be able to emblem it and not die for a long time. Plus, we can always just tick down Dovin Baan. With Oath of Teferi out, we can play Dovin Baan, tick down, draw 2, gain 4, which is a huge swing in value. So Gideon and Dovin Baan, some of our cheapest Planeswalkers, some of our best defensive Planeswalkers, while Dovin Baan also offers some sweet card advantage. Then we have our big top-end Planeswalkers, some of them. So we have Karn, Scion of Urza, which is extremely powerful. It is just such a good Magic card. So with Karn, we usually do 2 different things with it. When we first play it, we're plussing and minusing, drawing an extra card each turn. If we have Oath of Teferi out, we're drawing 2 extra cards, because we can plus, our opponent gives us the bad card, then minus, take the good card, or plus, get 2 random cards, and the cards that are in exile just sit in there, so we're kind of storing them up like nuts for the winter. So eventually, when we really need another Planeswalker or something, we can always take down our Karn and grab it at the most convenient time. And then in the late game, we just play Karn. We probably have our Oath of Teferi by then. We probably have like 6, 7, 8, 10 artifacts on the battlefield, and we just -2, make a couple 10/10s, beat down our opponent in the course of like 1 turn cycle and win the game. So generates ton of card advantage, also one of our best finishers for the late game. And then Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, we pretty much just play it, plus it, draw some cards, untap our land so we can leave up stuff during our opponent's turn, or do some sweet tricks with our land that we'll talk about in a minute. And then we can just plus it, get up to 8, then we're able to emblem it. I hardly ever take it down, but it is a nice defensive ability to put a non-land permanent into our opponent's deck. And then our final Planeswalkers, Tezzeret the Schemer works insanely well with Oath of Teferi. Comes in with 5 loyalty, ultimates at 7 loyalty. So if we have down Oath of Teferi, we play Tezzeret, we plus, we make 2 Ethereum cells. The very next turn, we plus to make an Ethereum cell. Then with the second activation, we minus, and then for the rest of the turn, we're just turning Ethereum cells into hasty 5/5s, being beating down our opponent. They're not hasty, but they have haste essentially because they're on the battlefield, so they can attack right away. Tezzeret, just ticking up, is also one of our best ways to get tons of artifacts on the battlefield for our Karn, so when we make those construct tokens, they're going to be super massive. Finally, we have one copy of Liliana Death's Majesty. It's just a zombie maker. We don't really have creatures in our main deck, so the reanimation doesn't do much, so we're pretty much just plussing, and then we can use Liliana to Wrath if we need to get rid of our opponent's stuff. So that is the core of our deck. Oath of Teferi, doubling the activations on all these planeswalkers, and hopefully just overwhelming our opponent with planeswalker value. Since we have all these planeswalkers, we get to take advantage of some of the legendary sorceries too. So Urza's Ruinous Blast is insanely powerful when you can cast it consistently. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary means we don't lose anything. We might lose Ethereum cells, that kind of stuff, but our entire deck is planeswalkers, our legendary permanents, Oath of Teferi is legendary, our other stuff's legendary, so it is essentially a one-sided Wrath that exiles, and apart from just getting rid of our opponent's creatures, it's awesome against white decks that are playing Cast-Outs and Ixalan's Binding, because our opponent's trying to cast out when Ixalan's Binding our planeswalkers, then eventually we just have out a random planeswalker, we Urza's Ruinous Blast, exile all that stuff, get back all of our planeswalkers, just go to town. It's very, very strong. And then Yawgmoth's Vile Offering lets us get a planeswalker back from the graveyard, also blow up a creature planeswalker, can even grab stuff from our opponent's graveyard, a great one-of for the deck. And since we have just a million planeswalkers that are all legendary, we almost always have the ability to cast them. Not being able to cast them doesn't happen very often in this deck. As far as the rest of the deck, two of our sweetest cards are Search for Iskanta and Treasure Map. So these cards come down on turn 2, start filtering, letting us find our planeswalkers, hitting our land drops, just making sure our deck runs smoothly, and then we can do some super sweet tricks with them as well. So trick number 1 with Search for Iskanta, after we flip it around, Teferi untaps 2 lands, so we can search for Iskanta, dig for a planeswalker, dig for one of our legendary sorceries or removal spell, and then untap it using Teferi so we can activate it again. So we're getting double Iskanta activations each turn, which is really, really powerful. And then Treasure Map has really sweet synergy with Oath of Teferi, because Oath of Teferi has that flicker effect. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll flip Treasure Map, get the treasure tokens, maybe we spend them casting our planeswalkers or sack them to draw cards. Then when we cast Oath of Teferi, it can target any permanent, so it can target our lands, so we can flicker our treasure cove, comes back as Treasure Map, which lets us scry again for a few turns, refill on our treasure tokens, draw a bunch more cards, so a nice little synergy there. Otherwise, we got a ton of removal, Fatal Pushes, Cast Downs, Nevers, Vraska's Contempts, just to deal with our opponent's creatures, Settle the Wreckage, and we talked about Urza's Ruinous Blast, but Settle the Wreckage joins Urza's Ruinous Blast, is another Wrath effect, a little faster, and then we have a couple of negates to deal with non-creature permanents, protect our planeswalkers from Vraska's Contempts and Approach of the Second Sun and whatnot. As far as the mana base, a bunch of the check lands, we have some basic lands, a few other dual lands, including the cycling lands, Field of Ruin, and Scavenger Grounds. In the sideboard, we do have one creature, Lyra Dawnbringer, so the idea here is our opponent is going to probably sideboard out all their creature removal, and then we can counter that by sideboarding in Lyra Dawnbringer, and Lyra is really, really good if it sits on the battlefield. It blocks all the big air creatures, it gains ton of life to stabilize, it's good against basically any deck if it stays on the battlefield. For control, we have Lost Legacy, Duress, Negates. For aggro, Authority of the Consuls, also Profane Profession for more removal, Fragmentize, Decommission to deal with artifacts and enchantments, and that is Oath of Teferi, friends, for Dominaria standard. And that's our Against the Odds deck for this week. So, oh man, this deck is so sweet. I'm not even going to say anything else. Let's just get to the videos, because we have so many planeswalkers, we activate them so many times, we do so many sweet things with this deck, so I think you're going to like it. Like I said in the intro, if you want to vote for next week's deck, we have a ton of cool Dominaria options, all the sweet things you want to see, so follow the link in the description, vote for next week's deck so we can play some new sweet Dominaria stuff. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap-up. Alright, Against the Odds time, playing some Oath of Teferi Superfriends, and if we had a blue source, I would snap keep this, but we're gonna ship it. Alright, this is fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine with just drawing a land. So swamp you, Plains for our opponent. Passes. Well, Drowned Catacombs, get down our Search for Azcanta. Ship the turn. So remember, we need a Planeswalker to be able to cast this eventually. Field of Ruin. And there goes our Search for Azcanta fun. Still pretty good just scrying though, essentially. Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, we'll mill that for now. But let's just play the Plains, play Treasure Map. We just have all the 2-mana value. Plains for our opponent. And wow, okay. That seems greedy. Should have scryed after. Yup. Should have scryed after. I'll grab an island. Let search resolve. Mill the land. Then scry with treasure map. Land to the bottom. Draw land. Play irrigated farmland. Shepherd Dunes for our opponent. Ixalan's Binding. Well, alright, let's see what our opponent targets. It's probably treasure map. Urza's Ruinous Blast. All non-legendary permanents, which includes Ixalan's Binding. Cycle Fetid Pools. Well, this would be a good turn to find a Planeswalker. Search for Azcanta. That's Planeswalker. That's Teferi. Okay, Teferi time. So play a swamp. Get down Teferi. Hero of Dominaria. Draw a card. Ooh, more Planeswalkers. Sweet. Untap a couple of lands. Alright, Planeswalker 1 down. This also turns on our Urza's Ruinous Blast. Oh my god, cast out. I guess it's off again for the time being, because we don't have a legend, but we do have a Tezzeret. Opponent, passing. Yeah, we'll mill Vraska's Contempt. Alright, play Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin, the Shepherd Dunes. Grab a land. Play Tezzeret. Make a treasure. Ethereum South. Pass the turn. Alright, things are looking up. Oh man, this Urza's Ruinous Blast is going to be absurd when we finally resolve it. And we get to flip this search if we want to. We do have to mill. Oh boy. Opponent passing? Okay. Search for Azcanta. Yeah, we'll mill the swamp. Transform. Make a treasure. Ethereum Cell. Yeah, let's search. Take a negate. Pass the turn. So next turn, we have lots of options. Treasure map. We'll let that go. I think we're just gonna ruin his blast. Opponent passes. Ooh, Oath of Teferi. Oh man, check out this turn. Okay. So take up Tezzeret, make an artifact. Play the plains. Oh, this is insane. So play Oath of Teferi. Flicker a land. Take up Tezzeret. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Wipe out the binding that cast out the treasure map. Oh my goodness. Yeah, do your scrying, opponent. You do that. Opponent scries. Oh wow. What a turn! Then we get to draw a card with Teferi. Draw a card with Teferi. Pass the turn. Untap all of our lands, essentially. We untap 2 lands, so we still get to search for Azcanta? Oh man, this deck is sweet. Alright, yeah, go ahead. What do you got, opponent? Okay. Yes. Urzaka Relic. Opponent. I feel like this scoop's got to be incoming. So, Azcanta, take Dovin Baan, keeps getting better. Treasure map, do some scrying. That's a card. I think we'll keep a Karn. Oh, this turn is going to be so good. So, we will play Dovin Baan, draw a card, gain a life. Anti-Yagma. Draw a card, gain a life. We will make an artifact. We will make an artifact. Draw with Teferi. We will draw with Teferi. We will play Karn. We will tick up Karn. Oh my goodness, this opponent scoops it up. Woo! Alright. Game on. That felt incredibly powerful. Let's go down like Fatal Push, Vraska's Contempt, Cast Down for a couple of negates in a decommission and go down this Never for a Duress and maybe Yawgmoth's Vile Offering for Fragmentize? Let's try something like that. Alright, well, Treasure Maps and Ruinous Blast. Opponent, passing. Well, Drowned Catacombs, go. Plains for our opponent. And, alright, well, we know what our opponent's doing. They're playing a Danto Vanguard. I'll play a Plains, play Treasure Map. Pass the turn. Plains for our opponent. Gets in with Vanguard. Down to 17. And passes. We'll play Glacial Fortress. Play Treasure Map. Pass the turn. Let the scrying begin. Alright. Arch Vraska. Opponent gets in with Vanguard. Down to 14. And a Treasure Map. Well, scry with Treasure Map. Let's keep Gideon. Untap. Play the Swamp. Play Gideon. Tick up on Vanguard. Pass the turn. Opponent's gonna start scrying. Yup. Scavenger Grounds. Ixalan's Binding. Gonna hit our Gideon. Yep. Scry. Scavenger Grounds to the bottom. Stop on our upkeep. Scry with Treasure Map. Drown Catacombs to the bottom. Untap Liliana. Oh, play Field of Ruin. Play Dovin Baan. Tick up on Vanguard. Opponent scries. Yup. Planes for our opponent. Cast out. Gets our Dovin Baan. Well, man, Urza's Ruinous Blast is going to be insane again. Opponent passes. Well, sack and scry. Gotta keep Teferi. Untap. Play Field of Ruin. Let's play Teferi. Draw a card. Untap. Alright, it's a Karn. Pass the turn. Untap our Field of Ruins. I guess we shouldn't have sacked that treasure. We should have waited. I think we're still in fine shape with this Ruinous Blast. And then blow up this Arch of Araska. Grab an island. Pass the turn. Opponent draws a card. Field of Ruin. Ixalan's Binding. Alright. Well, oh man. Urza's Ruinous Blast is just absurd against our opponent's deck. Yeah, there goes our Teferi. So we're gonna get back all of our planeswalkers next turn with a single card. Opponent gets in with Vanguard. Sure. Down to 11. I mean, I'm pretty sure we just straight up win the game this turn, though. And we get to flip the treasure map, so we got another land. Well, sack a treasure, draw a card. It's a land. Get another land. It'll be a plains, I guess. Scry with Treasure Map. Glacial Fortress to the bottom. Stop on our upkeep. Scry with Treasure Map. Oath of Teferi definitely to the top. Get a bunch of treasure. Play Isolated Chapel. Sack our treasure to play a Karn. Take up card. We hit Karn and Swamp. So opponent gives us one of these. Gives us a Swamp. And then... oh boy. Urza's Ruinous Blast you? It's so good. It's hard to overstate how insanely powerful this is. So we get back a bunch of Planeswalkers. We will take up Gideon. We will take down Dovin Baan. Draw a card. And our opponent scoops it up. Oh man, Urza's Ruinous Blast, it was insane in that matchup. I don't know if it'll always be that insane, but good God. Woo! Well, Oath of Teferi Superfriends, pretty good in that one. Alright, against the odds time, Oath of Teferi Superfriends in standard. We're on the draw. We can kill something. And we're gonna ship it. Alright, this hand's good, but our mana's ultra clunky. Well, Vraska's Contempt to the bottom. Swamp for our opponent. And passes. Glacial Fortress, you. We'd love to get down this search next turn. Opponent, Woodland Cemetery. And Metallic Mimic. Ooh. Sapperling, uh-oh. Alright, there's an untapped land. So play the island. Play Search for Iskanta. Well, let's see what happens. 4 is for our opponent. It's in with Metallic Mimic. Up, down to 18. No Sapperlings. Growing Rights, okay. Tender Shoot Dryad. Opponent passes. Search for Iskanta. Milling Vraska's Contempt. Well, play Isolated Chapel, pass the turn. Woodland Cemetery. Opponent getting in with Mimic. Yep. Down to 16. And passes. Well, come on, lands. Negate to the graveyard. Alright, Isolated Chapel. Pass the turn. We're not doing it the easy way, but we kinda are doing it. Opponent gets in with Mimic. Down to 14. Alright, let's cast down. Kill Mimic. Search for Iskanta. We will keep the Swamp. So play the Swamp. Play Dovin Baan. Draw a card. Gain some life. Ooh, Oath of Teferi. That's a sweet one. Opponent. Opponent passes. Search for Iskanta. Yeah, we'll mill Treasure Map. Ooh, that's that's a Teferi. Alright, play Teferi. Draw a card. Alright, there goes Teferi. Draw a card. Play the Swamp. Pass the turn. Untap a couple of lands. Opponent. Opponent's passing. Search for Iskanta. We'll keep the land. Play Scavenger Grounds. Play Tezzeret. Make an Ethereum Cell. Use our Ethereum Cell. Play Karn. Take up Karn. Revealing land Gideon. Well, take up Dovin Baan. Pass the turn. And opponent scoops it up. Yeah, just not finding their 5th land there. So we'll bring in Profane Procession. Go down a negate. And, run it like that. See what happens. Yup. Got a mulligan. Alright, this is slow. I guess we keep Glacial Fortress. Swamp for our opponent. And Duress. Opponent passes. Well, play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Woodland Cemetery. And here comes the Sapperlings. More Teferis. Well, play the island past the turn. Gonna need to find a sweeper. Gets in with the Sapperlings. Yup. Down to 18. Forest. And Song of Freyalise. Spicy. Well, play Field of Ruin. Yeah, let's kill a Sapperling. Mostly to keep our opponent off mana. Yup. Makes a Sapperling a mana dork. There's a land. Bone it. Getting in for 1. Yup. Down to 17. Well, we are arguably Teferi flooded. Oh, yikes. Well, now we're in a pretty dangerous spot. Because those are +1/+1 counters. So we actually might just be getting janked out here. Sapperlings hits us down to 9. As another duress sees our million Teferis. Takes a Teferi, plays a land. But let's Field of Ruin, get a white source. We're hoping for a Settle the Wreckage. So grab a Plains, untap, draw. And we will scoop it up. Yep. Well, that was a good start for the Sapperlings. Alright, run it back. We'll try this. Mostly due to the power of Search for His Content on turn 2. Also, we got our Settle the Wreckage. Hopefully, we don't get turn 1 duress. Alright, Forest. And Llanowar Elves. That's not a Sapperling. Opponent passes. We'll play Glacial Fortress. Play Search for His Content. Pass the turn. Opponent, Cemetery. There's the duress. Well, there goes our Settle the Wreckage. Yup. And Metallic Mimic. Opponent passes. Search for His Content. We will definitely keep Fatal Push. So play the Swamp. Fatal Push, Metallic Mimic. Pass the turn. Opponent, Cemetery. Alright. Blows up our Search for His Content. And plays a land. And a Spore Crown Thallid. Alright, well, come on, Karn! Come on, Karn! Opponent's down to 1 card, though. And we have a lot of planeswalkers. Play Isolated Chapel. Play a Karn. Tick up a Karn. We get land or land. Alright, pass the turn. Attacking us, ignoring the Karn. Down to 16. Alright, Vraska's Contempt. Opponent passes. Plains. Play Karn number 2. Tick up Karn. Fatal Push, Teferi. Opponent gives us a Fatal Push. Well, we will just get rid of the Sapperling Lord right now. Pass the turn. Come on, Karn. We can tick down to get Teferi if they can't kill Karn. Opponent gets into us. Oh, do they have another Vraska's Contempt? Down to 15. Opponent passes. Okay. Now we should be good. Tick down Karn. Get Teferi. Play Teferi. Draw a card. Untap a couple lands. Ooh, Tezzeret. Play Field of Ruin. This is where the value becomes pretty good. Opponent. Sapperlings did some good stuff that one game. Song of Freyalise was super impressive. Now I feel like we've kind of just locked it up. Gets in with Llanowar Elves. Yup. More Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves, great on turn 1. A little less great on turn whatever this is. Well, take up Karn. We get a land. Take up Teferi. Draw a card. Play Treasure Map. Play Tezzeret. Yeah, kill a Llanowar Elves. Play Drowned Catacombs. Pass the turn. Untap a couple of lands. And yeah, I think Oath of Teferi friends may be getting there. There's a Spore Crown Thallid for our opponent. Well, let's scry. Fatal Push. Yeah, I guess we keep it. So let's draw Fatal Push. Draw with Teferi. Take down Karn. Get cast down. Tick up Tezzeret. Play Isolated Chapel. Fatal Push. Thallid. Pass the turn. Yeah. Untap 2 lands. And we got the GGs. Oath of Teferi, friends. Getting there over Sapperling. Sapperlings look super sweet in game 2, I have to say. Song of Freyalise surprised me, and definitely got to play Sapperlings at some point. Seems like a pretty sweet budget Magic deck. But for now, Oath of Teferi Superfriends still getting the job done. Alright. Against the odds time, playing some Oath of Teferi Superfriends in Standard, and if we draw 2 lands in a row, these are the kind of hands I keep, and then it ends with me getting yelled at. We're gonna mulligan. Okay. I don't know if this is better. We do get to scry. That's a land. Alright. This could be somewhat functional. Drowned Catacombs, go. Opponent. Desert of the Fervent. Well, Plains, go. Opponent. Mountain. Oh, so just like Ramenant bread? Opponent passes. Mishor or Gideon. Little Gids. Tick up. Want to avoid a lightning strike to Gideon's face. Pass the turn. Opponent. Dragon Skull Summit. Opponent passes. Play the Swamp. Well, let's get in there. Get in with Gideon. Hit our opponent. Down to 16. Opponent finds Oasis. And, alright, Gift of Paradise. Up to 18. Come on, Planeswalker. Well, fire up Gideon. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. Down to 14. Opponent. Hour of Promise. Okay. Get some deserts and some zombies. Opponent passes. Alright. Urza's Ruinous Blast. I think we gotta tick up the Gideon so it doesn't get glory brought. Pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. And Vraska. This'll be interesting. Opponent. Wow. Huh. Well, fire up Gideon. Hit Vraska. Not sure why our opponent did not activate Vraska. Play Liliana. Make a zombie. Ugh, we milled 2 lands. We really wanted to mill a Planeswalker, because we can kill this Vraska and reanimate something. I guess we can hopefully try again next turn. Opponent makes Pirate and Hour of Promise. Get some lands, get some zombies. Turns on Arch. And Lightning Strikes Liliana. Opponent passes. Oh, come on, mill a Planeswalker, Liliana. Liliana. Alright, Karn. So play Glacial Fortress. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Reanimate Karn. Kill Vraska. Ooh, so much value. So much value. Take up Karn. Gideon and Isolated Chapel. Opponent gives us the land. So take up on the Pirate. Pass the turn. Our deck's kinda doing its thing. Oh. Indomitable Creativity. Okay. Gets a Dragaz. Huh. Opponent. Multani on my avatar. Okay. Sure. Opponent is going to go after our Gideon. So Gideon down. Yup. Opponent passes. Well, let's tick up Karn. Gate or Glacial Fortress. Play Glacial Fortress. Tick up Liliana. Well, we just got to pass. These are some big creatures. Alright, Pirate's Pillage. Opponent gets in at Karn. Well, settle your wreckage. Get rid of Dargaz. Come on, Oath of Teferi. So Dragon down forever. Draws a card. Plays a mountain and passes. Well, take down Karn. Get the negate. Tick up Liliana. Mill lands we didn't want. Play Isolated Chapel. Play Dovin Baan. Draw a card. And pass the turn. I actually don't really know who's winning now. Goes to combat. Alright, we will just let Liliana die. We kind of want to stop milling ourselves anyway, and we want to leave up this negate. Opponent's drawing a card. Yup. And opponent Sapperling Migration. Okay, we'll let that go. So, Fatal Push, Menace Pirate. Untap. There's Oath of Teferi. Alright, so let's tick down Karn. Get Gideon. Play Gideon. Tick up on Multani. Dovin Baan. Tick up on the zombie. Play a Plains. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We came here to Oath of Teferi. Let's Oath of Teferi. Blink Glacial Fortress. Tick up Karn. Oath of Teferi Gideon. Ugh. Down Dovin Baan. Draw a card. More Karns. Tick up Gideon. Pass the turn. So we get our land back. Oh, Oath of Teferi is so good. Evolving Wilds for our opponent. Cracks it. Gets a mountain. Hour of Devastation. Well, I guess we negate that. Well, there goes the negate. What do you got, opponent? Draws a card. Opponent passing. We'll take up Karn. Tezzeret and Island. We get the Island. Tick down Karn. Get Tezzeret. Tick up Gideon on Multani. Tick down Dovin Baan. Tick up Dovin Baan on the zombie. Emblem Gideon. Play Tezzeret. Play Isolated Chapel. Tick up Tezzeret. Tick up Tezzeret. Play Treasure Map. Oh, the deck is so sweet when it gets going. And we'll pass the turn. We're pretty much at max Planeswalkerage. Oh boy. Dragaz. Yup. We gotta settle the wreckage for that. Opponent gets in at Tezzeret. Well, yeah, let's settle the wreckage. Opponent gets a land. And scoops it up. Can't beat the Planeswalker value. Alright. That was pretty good. Based on what we saw, we don't want cast downs. We probably do want negates. We do want Profane Procession. Let's go down Fatal Pushes for... Yeah, let's bring in Duresses. Try it like that. Alright, we are on the draw. This hand's not horrible. Evolving Wilds. Opponent cracks it. Drown Catacombs, go. Tap land for our opponent. And passes. Well, play a Plains, pass the turn. Opponent, mountain, and I think we just negate that. Keep our opponent off the ramp. Come on, lands. Lands. Isolated Chapel. Well, get down Gids. Little Gids. Take up Gids. Pass the turn. Well, if we draw 2 lands in a row, I'll feel pretty happy about where we're at. Opponent, lightning strikes. Well, Gideon's still alive. Glad we countered that if they're missing land drops. Ugh, not a land. Well, Gideon beatdowns. We got nothing else happening. Looks like it's going to be a race to land number 4. Pass the turn. All right, Gideon down. Do we win the race? Oh, we do. All right. Yeah, very happy about countering that Gift of Paradise. Karn, Scion of Urza. Take it up. Now with Karn, we should hit. All right. No lands. Tezzeret or Ruinous Blast. Opponent gives us Ruinous Blast. Pass the turn. Opponent. Sapperling Migration. And passes. Take up Karn. Lands? Alright. Well, good thing we drew land number 4, because apparently we're never drawing another one. Tezzeret the Schemer. This is a little risky, because they can go land Indomitable Creativity. Make Ethereum Cell. Pass the turn. Opponent scoops it up. Wow. Countering the Gift of Paradise. Game-winning swing. Well, another win for Oath of Teferi, friends. Just keeps happening. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Oath of Teferi, friends, in Standard, and the all-land hand. I actually think we keep this. This just means any non-land card. We have so many powerful things that a lot of games were like, oh, we just need to draw lands. So this time we got the lands, so hopefully we just draw the powerful things. Swamp for our opponent. And passes. Ugh. Well, that's the risk. We can just keep drawing lands. Pass the turn. Opponent, Ether Hub, and Scrappy Scrounger. Play Isolated Chapel. Play Gideon. Gideon's not bad. Take up on Scrappy, and pass the turn. Opponent, Swamp, and they must have like Ruin Raider. Gets in. Yep. There's Ruin Raider. Draws a Night Market Lookout. Well, pick up on Scrap Heap. Play Isolated Chapel. Pass the turn. Guess we should have killed this before it attacked in case they have another one. But kill Ruin Raider. Ooh, Bone Picker. Night Market Lookout. Okay. Well, let's cycle Fetid Pools. There's Teferi. Okay. And Dovin Baan. Well, here comes the Planeswalkers. Play Dovin Baan. Take up Gideon on Bone Picker. Take up Dovin Baan on Scrappy. Pass the turn. Ooh, if we get an Oath of Teferi, we got our Ultra Jank Wrath set up. the Donovan Bane Gideon Wrath. Ether Hub. There goes Gideon. All right. Opponent gets in. Down to 19. Opponent passes. Well, I think our plan is play Teferi. Draw a card. Untap 2 lands. End step. Land. Tick up on Bone Picker. Play Isolated Chapel. Pass the turn. We're close. We need a Wrath. Untap. Land for our opponent. Yahenni. Uh-oh. We might be in trouble. Opponent. Hitting Teferi. Hitting Dovin Baan. Down to 18. Not good. Come on, Sweeper. Land. Well, play Search for Iskanta. Draw with Dovin Baan. Oh, there it is. Kind of. Well, we gotta cast it. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Yeah, this is okay, but not great. Because of that Yahenni. The end result of this is still, we put our opponent down 2 creatures. Pass the turn. Opponent gets back Scrappy. Plays a Swamp. So here goes Dovin Baan. Yup, and hits us. Opponent passes. Search for Iskanta. Mill the land for sure. Play a Swamp. Settle the Wreckage is pretty good. Pass the turn. Deadlands. Opponent. Attacks. Well, we're gonna do it. Settle the Wreckage. Yep, opponent sacks. We finally get rid of this ultra annoying Yahenni. Oh, alright. Opponent tried to get tricky, but doesn't actually work that way. They made their Yahenni indestructible, then tried to Fatal Push it. The good news for our opponent is Fatal Push doesn't really do anything against us. We'll keep Vraska's Contempt. We'll transform. Play Scavenger Grounds. And let's just pass. There's Scrap Heap Scrounger. Thirsphere Harvester. Get some energy. Opponent goes attacking. Yeah, let's kill it. Once and for all. And now we can start digging for our fun stuff. Search for Iskanta. Yeah, let's take Oath of Teferi. We don't have any Planeswalkers yet, but it's so fun. Play Oath of Teferi. Untap our only blue source. Pass the turn. And now I think we're just good. Opponent. Wow, passing? Well, come on. Literally any planeswalker in our deck, except kind of not Gideon. Alright, we'll take Tezzeret. That's fine. Play Tezzeret. Make an Ethereum Cell. Make an Ethereum Cell. 2 activations. Pass the turn. Wow. Opponent's kind of flooding a bit. That's a lot of lands in your top 20. Escanta. And we'll take Karn. Ooh, and Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Well, take up Tezzeret. Ultimate Tezzeret. Play Karn. Make a construct. Make a construct. Ethereum Cell. Oh man, hopefully this is a not summoning sick one. Alright, it's the wrong one. We're still in excellent shape here. Wow. I feel a little bad for our opponent. 12 lands is infinite in their deck. Opponent. Alright. Yeah? Fighting the good fight. Counters on Ethereum Cell. Counters on Construct. And Walk the Plank. Okay. Well, let's Escanta. Take Teferi. And yeah, this one's pretty over. We got the Oath, we got the Walkers, we got Teferi. Well, take up Tezzeret. Take up Tezzeret. Take up Karn. Take down Karn for the negate. Play the island. Play Teferi. Draw a card. Draw a card. What one is not? Okay, that one. Hopefully. Oh my goodness, it's still the wrong one. We even looked that time. And now we get to do sweet tricks where we search for Escanta, get a Gideon. Teferi untaps our lands, which means we untap Escanta. Oh, it's so much value. Untap land. And then I think we'll do it again. Untap land, untap land. Oh boy. This deck, once it gets going, wow, more lands. All right, graveyard's gone. Fair. Opponent passes. Our opponent's not conceding, so we'll keep his Escanta-ing. Take Teferi. We might just win this turn, though. So let's take up Tezzeret. Take up Tezzeret. Take up our Karn. Well, take down our Karn. Take a Dovin Baan. Play another Tezzeret. Keep the new one. Take down Tezzeret. Opponent scoops it up. This deck is just so sweet once it gets going. Let's go 1 Lyra, 1 Profane Procession for the negates. So let's try it like that. All right. And this hand is good. Swamp for our opponent and Dread Wanderer. Opponent passes. Well, Glacial Fortress, go. Opponent, Ether Hub, and Night Market Lookout. And getting in for 2. Down to 18. Opponent passes. Let's play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Deadlands for our opponent. I think we got to take the hit. We don't want to get Ruin Raidered. Yep, down to 14. There's Ruin Raider. All right, so we kill Ruin Raider. No! Oh, Smoto. All right. Well, opponent gets a 1-drop for free. Well, play Isolated Chapel. Play Gideon of the Trials. Take up on Dread Wanderer. Pass the turn. Conquistador. And Scrounger. Yep. Opponent gets in for 2. That extra card. Hits Gideon. Opponent passes. Well, I guess we drown Catacombs. Play Tezzeret. Take up Tezzeret. Take up Gideon on Scrap Heap. Pass the turn. We are going to lose our Gideon if they throw everything at it. There's Harvester. Get some energy. Opponent. Settle the Wreckage is good too. Gideon. Yep. Oh, come on. Come on, Ruinous Blast. Well, kill Night Market Lookout. Maybe we just got a treasure map. Play treasure map. Play Drown Catacombs. Pass the turn. We basically got to hit a Wrath. Opponent, Yahenni, goes to combat. Kills Tezzeret. Hits us for 5. Oh boy. Well, let's scry with treasure map. Karn. Yeah, Karn to the bottom. Cycle Fetid Pools. Gideon also not good enough. All right. Upkeep stops at. We got to find this Settle the Wreckage. Treasure map. Swamp to the bottom. Search for Escanta. So we stop damage. We still lose. All right. Didn't find the Sweeper. Like, go down Never for Authority. I guess Yawgmoth's Vile Offering for Authority. And maybe we got to go down Liliana, too. Maybe we go up all the authorities. Try it like that. And we will keep this. Mostly because of treasure map. Plains, go. Opponent, Swamp, and Night Market Lookout. That's a good one. Play Isolated Chapel. I think we just pass and kill Night Market. Deadlands for our opponent. Heart of Kirin. All right. Opponent gets in with Night Market Lookout. Down to 18. Opponent passes. Oh, play the island, play treasure map, pass the turn. Scavenger grounds for our opponent. Ether Sphere Harvester. Is our opponent going to double crew? Crew. Looks like it. Crew's Ether Sphere. Crew's Heart of Kiran. Well, we will Fatal Push Heart of Kiran. Oath of Teferi. Well, played around Catacombs, pass the turn. Question's going to be, can our opponent answer this Lyra? We know they probably have Vraska's Contempt, Scrap Heap Scrounger, and Duress. Alright, Lyra, come on, Baneslayer. It is all about this Baneslayer surviving. Oath of Teferi's gone. Crew's up, Ether Sphere. Opponent hits us. Yup, down to 12. Gain some life. Well, let's scry. Dovin Baan. I think we keep it. Yup, down to 12. Opponent passes. So played round Catacombs, play Dovin Baan, take up on Scrap Heap, pass the turn. This lets us flip our treasure map quicker. Swamp for our opponent. Vraska's Contempt. Okay, they must have 2. Crew's up. Opponent hits us. Down to 8. If this Lyra sticks, well, treasure map scry. Karn, I think it's got to go bottom here. Treasure map scry. Flip. Fatal push to the top. Played around Catacombs, play Lyra, hope our opponent does not have the second Vraska's Contempt. Come on. Gifted Etherborn. Okay. Cruise. Okay. Goes to combat. Attacks. Oh, we'll block Ether Sphere. Alright, it worked. Ether Sphere down, up to 12, down to 9. Opponent passes. Oh man, is Baneslayer stabilizing? Play Karn. Make a Golem. Get in with Lyra. Oh, Baneslayer! It's back! Oh, it's gonna stick. Oh, it's gonna win us this game. Oh, wow. Opponent, we're back up to 14. Attacks. Down to 13. Oh, we'll save the Karn. Down to 10. This does mean we can't sack a treasure. Set a stop. Now we have to. We're gonna lose our construct. Well, sack a treasure, draw a card. Fatal push Rune Raider. Stop set. Opponent passes. Ooh, Vraska's Contempt. We'll take up Karn. We get Gideon Settle the Wreckage. Gives us Gideon. We'll play Gideon. Tick up on Etherborn. Baneslayer in with Lyra. Hit our opponent. Yup. Down to 26. And pass the turn. Our opponent probably got a little ahead of themselves by Vraska's Contempting Dovin Baan. Dovin Baan doing work. Saving our Baneslayer. Opponent's getting in. In Karn. Sure. Down to 4. Ooh, there goes our Baneslayer. Alright, Baneslayer down. Well, draw a card. Ugh. Gideon Flood. Take up Karn. Glacial Fortress. Sack our treasure. There's Teferi. That's what we were looking for. Now we just need the Oath. Play Teferi. Draw a card. Play Isolated Chapel. Fire up Gideon. And I think Oath of Teferi Superfriends. Gonna get there again. Yup. Opponent. Duress. Sure. Takes Vraska's Contempt. Opponent passing. Untap. Tezzeret. Well, take down Karn. Get treasure map. Play treasure map. Cry with treasure map. Gideon to the bottom. Draw with Teferi. Fire up Gideon. Get in with Gids. Opponent down to 18. Run out Tezzeret the Schemer. And yeah, I think we've pretty much reached the end. That's the turn. And the power of Planeswalkers. Opponent plays a Swamp. We just have so much repeatable value on the battlefield. Opponent, yep, gets an energy. Another Siphoner. Passes. Well, let's scry with treasure map. Field of Ruin to the bottom. Cast down Siphoner. Tezzeret Siphoner. Draw with Teferi. Take up Karn. Fairy, Isolated Chapel. Play Isolated Chapel. Fire up Gideon. Gideon with Gideon. Hit our opponent. Man, these have been some long games. Down to 14. And our opponent scoops it up. Oath of Teferi Superfriends. Oh, this deck is just crushing people. Crushing them. Sweet. All right. Against odds time. Playing some Oath of Teferi friends in Dominaria standard, and this hand's fine. Only 2 lands, unfortunately, but hopefully treasure map will fix that. Glacial Fortress go. Opponent, Field of Ruin, and passes. We'll play Swamp, play treasure map. Opponent cycles Renewed Faith. Interesting. Pass the turn. Opponent, Concealed Courtyard, and Gideon. Sure. Opponent emblems Gideon. Yeah, let's just draw. Played around Catacombs. Kill Gideon. Pass the turn. Opponent. Plains. Wow, Field of Ruin. Well, thank you, opponent. We did not have the mana to activate this treasure map. This makes our lives a ton easier. Gets a swamp. This is great for us. Now we get to treasure map. Ruinous Blast to the bottom. Untap. Alright, pass the turn. So I guess we gotta wait till next turn to do things. Opponent. 5 mana. Lyra Dawnbringer. Well, treasure map. Gideon to the bottom. Come on, deck. Give us some lands. Treasure map. We'll keep the planes. We get to flip. Play the planes. I guess we just pass and probably settle the wreckage. Opponent goes attacking. Well, settle the wreckage, Lyra. Opponent. Mastermind's Acquisition. Going to the sideboard. Opponent passes. Well, play Teferi. Draw a card. Ugh. The great struggle for lands continues. Untap, untap. Evolving Wilds. Chemball. Opponent's passing. Well, draw a card. Alright, it's a land. Well, tick up Teferi, draw a card. Play a swamp. Play Gideon. Tick up on Chemball. Play Dovin Baan. Draw a card. Gain some life. And the Superfriends are coming. Untap, untap. Opponent grabs a swamp. Cycles Renewed Faith. Yep. I wonder if this is a Lich's Mastery deck. So untap, untap. Opponent. Vraska's Contempt takes down Teferi. Alright, fair enough. Opponent passing. Another Gideon. Well, take up Gideon on Chemball. Take down Dovin Baan. Draw a card. Play Isolated Chapel. Karn. Take up card. Fatal Push. Tezzeret. Play Search for Skanta. Opponent's gaining tons of life off this Chemball. Cycles Renewed Faith. I wonder if our opponent actually tutored up this Chemball. Opponent. Mastermind's Acquisition from the sideboard. And passes. Search for Skanta. Yeah, we'll mill Fatal Push. Ooh, that's Oath of Teferi. That's a good one. Okay. Play Oath of Teferi. Blink Treasure Cove. Emblem Gideon. Tick up card. Tick up card. Tick up Dovin Baan. Tick down Dovin Baan. Tick up Gideon. Play Fetid Pools. Pass the turn. Get back treasure map. Discard, cast down, and Urza. Alright, opponent, what do you got? Alright, there's an approach. So we do have to not lose to approach. We do have the Gideon emblem for protection. Scry with treasure map. Glacial Fortress to the bottom. Mill another Glacial Fortress. Transform. Yeah, I think we're good. Play Isolated Chapel. Take up Dovin Baan. Tick down card. Take Negate. Tick down card. Take Tezzeret. Play Tezzeret. Take up Tezzeret. And we'll take up Tezzeret. And what can we activate? Take up Gideon. Take up Gideon. Draw with Dovin Baan. And pass the turn. Discard Gideon. Discard Fatal Push. Field of Ruin for our opponent. Now float a mana. Grab an island. Escanta. I guess we'll take Vraska's Contempt for now. Ruinous Blast isn't doing anything at this point. Passing. Well, scry with treasure map. Farmland to the bottom. And we might as well flip treasure map. Teferi to the top. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. So many Super Friends. So, let's see. Ultimate Tezzeret. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Get back Tezzeret. Kill Chemball. Opponent. Do they have a play? Alright. So Tezzeret's back. Chemball's gone. Take up Tezzeret. Take up Tezzeret. Take up Dovin Baan. Take up Dovin Baan. Take down Karn. Take down Karn. Opponent. Alright. Fatal Push. Sure. Take up Gideon. Take up Gideon. I don't even know if we play anything else. Yeah, go to combat. Fire up Ethereum Cell. Get in for 5. And, yeah, I guess we just pass. Opponent. We're going to have double Tezzeret emblem in a minute. Opponent passes. Well, I guess we might as well Escanta, because why not? Take Search for Escanta, I guess. Nothing relevant. untap, play Scavenger Grounds, take up Tezzeret, ultimate Tezzeret again, play Treasure Map, play Teferi, take up Teferi, take up Teferi, take up Karn, gonna settle the wreckage, take up Karn, take up Dovin Baan. I guess it's time to try to ultimate Dovin Baan. Take up Dovin Baan. Play a land. Yeah, go to combat. Turn Ethereum Cell into a creature. Turn Ethereum Cell into a creature. Hit our opponent for 25. Oh, man. This deck. Alright, our wreckage has been settled. No basics left. Pass the turn. Untap some lands, and we'll untap some lands. Do some discarding. Discard, discard, discard. What do you got, opponent? They have to kill Gideon before they can win with approach. And they just shuffled their approach anyway. Wow. Oh, the deck is so dominant. Yeah, opponent plays a tap land. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Okay. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, Motobug! I'm not misunderstanding this, right? You get an emblem, as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponent can't win the game. Pretty black and white. There's Gideon emblem, there's Gideon Planeswalker. Approach of the Second Sun, you win the game. We finally succumb and it's to a Motobug? That's how we lose? Oh, we could have even countered it. I just didn't think we needed to because Gideon emblem. Moto. We were actually going to play Liliana and have the ultimate Super Friend set up. It was going to be every single Planeswalker. Moto. Moto. Not like this. Not like this. Well, that game was unlosable, I think. Except to Moto. Our opponent couldn't beat us, but Moto can. So what do we learn this week about Oath of Teferi, friends, for Dominaria standard? And so our last match, yes, we got Moto bugged in game 1, and I didn't show the rest of the games. The match went really long, and we were already getting towards like the too long part of the episode. On Against the Odds, unlike the other series, I'm shooting for like a specific amount of time, about 45 minutes of gameplay, so it would have been just way too long of an episode, but we actually went on to win. We won the next 2 games, so we actually technically won 3 games in a row against Black-White Approach, which means overall we went 5-0. We did not lose with Oath of Teferi, friends. The deck is just, it is insane. It is so powerful and so strong. So I was super impressed with it. I think probably needs little bits of tweaking of the numbers here and there, but things that stuck out. Gideon with Dovin Baan are absolutely insane. We're finally making Dovin Baan good. Oath of Teferi is the card that makes it work. When you can plus and minus in the same turn, it is so good. And when you have Gideon and Dovin Baan and can just plus, it is like the Wrath. Like your opponent just can't kill you with creatures. We can survive against combo decks and control decks with Gideon keeping us alive. And then Teferi itself is a very threatening Planeswalker. Just so much card advantage, untapping the lands, does so many powerful things. Karn was great. Karn with Tezzeret is really insane, just getting so many artifacts on the battlefield, and then Karn is like 4 mana, make 2 10/10s or something with Oath of Teferi. But I think for me, the biggest surprising takeaway was Urza's Ruinous Blast, and Urza's Ruinous Blast is incredibly powerful. That card is so good, and of course, it takes some building around. We need to have a lot of Planeswalkers or Legends to even be able to cast it. But in our deck, with so many Planeswalkers, it was insanely powerful, blowing up Ixalan's bindings and cast outs, wrathing our opponent's board to keep us alive. It is really good. So while there are times, we had rare instances where we couldn't cast it as fast as we wanted to because we didn't have a Planeswalker, it is more than worth the risk in a deck that can support it because it is a super strong card. So I gotta say, I think the combination of Oath of Teferi, which just puts Planeswalker decks into overdrive, and it feels like on paper sometimes like, oh, it's win more. Why do you gotta activate your Planeswalkers multiple times? You can win just activating Planeswalkers normally. but really, the double activation is really key to this deck actually functioning and being competitive, so I didn't feel like it was win more at all. Like, being able to stop 2 creatures with Gideon instead of 1, or 2 with Dovin Baan instead of 1, that is a huge deal. Or playing Tezzeret, ticking up to get an artifact, and then ticking down to kill something, those are all huge, huge swings that you can't do without 2 activations. So I didn't feel like it was win more. I felt like it was the glue that holds the deck together. So the combination of Oath of Teferi being insane, with legendary sorceries like Urza's Ruinous Blast as a payoff, and another great cheap planeswalker in Karn, which was very, very good, it might be time for Super Friends to really shine and be a tier deck in Standard. And like I said, I'm sure there's tweaks that we can go through, maybe a little more early game stuff. Liliana wasn't super impressive with no creatures, so I'm sure there's some little things like that can be shifted around, but I actually have a lot of hope that with a little more tweaking, a little more fine-tuning, that a Esper Oath of Teferi Super Friends list can be a really, really strong option in Standard. You get great planeswalkers, you get insane value, you get all the good sideboard cards, all the good removal in white and black and blue, so you got counters, you got good removal, you got Lost Legacy, so you can cover every basis, you got card filtering with Search for Content and Treasure Map, so all around, I think this one is super good. Definitely plan on trying to keep tuning it, making it more competitive, because I feel like there's a pretty realistic shot that if we can find the right build, Oath of Teferi Friends can be a really real deck in Standard. So anyway, that's been our Against the Odds deck for this week. Oath of Teferi Friends for Dominaria Standard. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.